This rich guy actually kisses a giant shark. He's on the boat, showing off his prize catch. But whoops, he accidentally drops it into the ocean. The rich guy isn't even worried. He's just laughing and joking with his friends. Then out of nowhere, this massive mouth erupts from the water and swallows him whole. Right after that, the huge mouth chomps down on the shark, and its enormous body flips the entire boat over. Meanwhile, there's a scary great megalodon right behind the girl. When she turns around, the shark smashes right into the glass, causing a huge commotion that makes everyone stop. They rush over and see the glass covered in shark teeth marks. Thankfully, the glass is tough enough to hold, or things could have gone south really quickly. Then, a gigantic blue whale shows up, looking like it's begging for help. But everyone thinks the whale's causing the chaos. Before anyone can figure it out, the great megalodon tears the whale to shreds. Megalodons went extinct 2 million years ago. So where the heck did this one come from? A few days ago, the Origin submarine was exploring the Mariana Trench. They sent out an underwater robot, and suddenly, a massive superfast signal pops up on the radar. The robot gets taken out by some unknown beast, and the submarine gets slammed hard. The crew freaks out, and then the creature strikes again, cutting off all contact. The crew's trapped 32,800 feet underwater with only 18 hours of oxygen left. Dr. Zhang calls in Jonas, the only guy who's ever managed to survive and make it back from those depths. Meanwhile, the Origin is getting patched up on the seafloor, and the power's coming back. But because everyone's scared of the dark, they turn on the lights, which leads to another attack, and the submarine gets wrecked once again. The base picks up a weak signal from the Origin that's fading fast. They've got only 2 hours of oxygen left before they lose contact again. Dr. Zhang thinks there might be a hydrogen sulfide layer down there that hides a whole new world. Dr. Zhang's daughter, Suyin, who's a scientist, totally ignores all the warnings and decides to go rescue them on her own. She jumps into a submarine and heads straight into the deep sea. Meanwhile, Jonas finally makes it to the base. He doesn't even bother checking himself out. He just dives straight into testing his own submarine gear. After a few quick tweaks, Jonas decides to take the plunge and dive down to try and save the day. This deep-sea squid is a staggering 16 feet tall, definitely the ocean's top predator. Suyin navigates through the dense fog and reaches the deep sea. She carefully scans the dark environment, and soon spots the Origin. As she gets closer, she readies a magnetic hook to tow the submarine. But suddenly, her sub gets hit by an unknown creature. Just as panic starts to set in, a massive squid emerges, targeting her sub as prey. With the giant squid closing in to crush her sub, things look dire. But then, out of nowhere, a Megalodon appears and turns the tide. Realizing the Megalodon's presence, Jonas quickly tells Suyin to turn off the lights. But before she knows it, the Megalodon charges straight at her. Luckily, Jonas fires a flare to distract it, giving Suyin a chance to escape. With the submarine badly damaged, Suyin has no choice but to retreat from the depths. After evading the Megalodon, Jonas takes over the wrecked sub. He rips open the damaged hatch and finds Jean and the others. Just as they're about to evacuate, the Megalodon approaches again. This is the ocean's top predator millions of years ago. The Megalodon could easily tear apart a tank. As everyone faces imminent danger, a teammate steps up without hesitation. He ejects Jonas and the others to safety, and turns on the lights to distract the Megalodon. With a massive explosion, he sacrifices himself to ensure the team's safe escape. Although the rescue is successful and everyone makes it back to the surface, a new problem arises. The Megalodon is about 70 to 90 feet long, making it the largest shark ever known. It could bite through a blue whale in one chomp. Despite being extinct for 2 million years, it has mysteriously resurfaced, posing a grave threat to humanity. Meanwhile, Suyin's daughter is wandering around the base. As she bends down to pick up a dropped toy, she turns around and sees the Megalodon right behind her. It snaps at her with a powerful bite. Thankfully, a reinforced glass panel holds the attack. The massive impact shakes the entire base. Suyin quickly realizes the gravity of the situation, and rushes out to find her daughter. Thankfully, the child is only shaken up, not hurt. But everyone is stunned by the bite marks on the glass. The next moment, the blue whale is actually signaling for help from humans. But then, it gets swallowed by the Megalodon. This freaks everyone out, and they scramble to analyze the data from the seabed. The analysis reveals that while escaping to the surface, the submarine has been leaking oil due to damage. The high temperatures from the valves create a trail, allowing the Megalodon to follow them through the fog layer. Soon after, the base receives a distress signal from a ship. It turns out that 3 ships have been overturned by the Megalodon. Jonas leads a team to the scene, where they find wreckage and sharks with their fins cut off. It's clear that the people on those ships are poachers. To prevent further attacks by the Megalodon, Dr. Zhang decides they need to hunt it down. However, by the time they get their spears and shark cages ready, the Megalodon has vanished. The only option now is to attach a tracker to it, and wait until they can make a move. Naturally, the risky job falls to Jonas. To avoid startling the shark, he has to approach alone. For safety, they attach a line to him so they can pull him back quickly if necessary. Everything goes smoothly, and the Megalodon doesn't notice Jonas approaching. Jonas is about to hunt the ocean's apex predator, the Megalodon. Shortly after, the Megalodon dives deep into the sea. When the target disappears, Jonas must follow it underwater. He searches the dark depths until suddenly, the Megalodon swims right past him. Jonas acts swiftly, expertly attaching the tracker to the Megalodon. However, in his eagerness to complete the mission, a teammate tightens the safety line, causing a jolt that alerts the Megalodon. Realizing something is up, everyone immediately starts the engines. Jonas is dragged rapidly through the water as the Megalodon chases him with its mouth wide open. Just as Jonas is about to be bitten, he is finally pulled to safety aboard the ship. It's a close call, but they get the tracking information. With the location known, they prepare the shark cage. They need to find the perfect moment to inject the poison and capture the Megalodon. Suin, who knows the shark's behavior well, takes on this task. They bait the water with chum, drawing in a swarm of smaller sharks, but then they quickly scatter in terror as the Megalodon approaches. As soon as the Megalodon appears, it slams into the cage with force. It immediately bites down on the cage, and with its massive strength, it starts dragging both the cage and the boat along with it. Seizing the moment, Suin quickly injects the poison into the Megalodon, but it swallows the whole cage. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Jonas jumps into the water to rescue her. The steel cable snaps under the intense strain, and Suin is thrown through the air. During the chaos, her oxygen device gets damaged, and she loses consciousness due to lack of oxygen. Luckily, Jonas manages to rescue Suin from the cage just in time. As they are about to surface, the Megalodon attacks again. The steel cable entangles it, and the poison starts to take effect. They finally make it to the surface. After emergency medical treatment, Suin regains consciousness, and both of them make it back to the deck. At this point, the Megalodon is dead. The team is excited and takes celebratory photos. However, in a mishap, the guy falls into the water. Suddenly, the father Megalodon arrives for revenge. It bursts out of the water and grabs its son's body, then flips the boat over, sending everyone into the sea. The injured Dr. Zhang is rescued just in time, but others are not so lucky. The Megalodon spots them and quickly swims over. In a horrifying scene, another team member is killed by it. To ensure the remaining team's safety, Jonas has to lead the survivors in a retreat. Just as they get away in the inflatable boat, the Megalodon surfaces again. Fortunately, the support team arrives just in time. They attach a tracker and fire machine guns at the shark. Under the intense assault, the Megalodon finally retreats. However, Dr. Zhang succumbs to his injuries and passes away. Suin is devastated by her father's death, but Jonas comforts her, helping her to calm down. That night, Jonas visits Suin's room to offer solace, knowing she's deeply grieving. The next morning, the patron informs nearby countries about the situation, and they decide to send naval ships to eliminate the Megalodon. For now, there's no need to worry. The patron decides to close the research base, and evacuation boats will arrive the next morning to pick everyone up. The patron actually kisses a giant shark. He's on the boat, bragging about his catch, but then, he accidentally falls into the ocean. He's not worried at all and still laughing and chatting with his friends. Then out of nowhere, this massive gaping mouth emerges from the water and swallows him whole. The shark then bites down on the other shark, and flips the entire boat over before casually swimming away. That's the real Megalodon in action. The next day, Jonas learns about the patron's lie. It turns out he hid the Megalodon's presence and didn't notify nearby countries. If they don't evacuate the area soon, things could get really serious. To capture this prehistoric beast, everyone forms a makeshift hunting team. According to the signal, the Megalodon is heading towards Sanya Bay, a crowded area. Right now, no one has any idea the shark is so close, but it doesn't stay quiet for long. A man finally spots the shark, and panic spreads through the crowd. People start fleeing in every direction as the Megalodon begins its attack, claiming many lives with its massive jaws. The 10,000-ton Megalodon goes on a rampage, attacking the beach. A man with a rolling ball is bitten in half. Luckily, Jonas and his team arrive just in time. They release whale sounds to lure the Megalodon away from the crowd. Jonas and Suin plan to use the submarine's torpedoes to take down it, but a dust cloud obscures their view, causing them to miss the perfect shot. Now, the Megalodon shifts its focus to Jonas. To escape death, Jonas runs for his life. During his escape, the submarine gets scratched by coral. Suin hits the launch switch, and the torpedo hits its mark. but it's not enough to kill the Megalodon. Jonas flashes lights desperately. Just as he's about to fire again, the torpedo malfunctions. The next moment, the Megalodon tosses Jonas out of the water. After a grueling escape, Jonas comes up with a new plan. Using the submarine's sharp fins, he deftly slices open the Megalodon's belly. But in its death throes, the shark clamps down on the submarine, causing a hull breach. Jonas decides to abandon ship and fights back with a long harpoon. He lands a precise shot into the Megalodon's eye, finally bringing the ocean's apex predator down. The blood quickly attracts smaller sharks, who swarm to feast on the Megalodon's corpse. Jonas successfully rescues Sui, and they both go on to live happily ever after. This movie is called The Meg. It's a great watch, so definitely check out the original film. Thanks a lot for the likes and subscriptions. See you next time. Bye.